All right, so yeah, welcome to the channel, everybody. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Scott, and I travel in my self-converted Sprinter van with my dog Ellie. And for those of you that are returning, welcome back. This is a video that was pretty highly requested after a previous video I posted about why I van life, which I'll link up above. Everyone was kind of wanting me to do a complete van tour and sort of go over everything in the van. It's not a video I'd really planned on putting together because there's a ton of information already out there on my van, and I think 3 or 4 van tours. But I figured everyone asked for it, so I might as well do it. So here's the tour. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Scott Adamson, and I'm from Canada, and I live full-time in my 2016 Mercedes Sprinter van. So let's jump on inside and I'll give you a quick tour. Okay, so when you first come into the van, you'll notice that I have a large closet right behind the driver's seat. For a lot of people, they're envious of my huge closet because, I mean, that's something that they sacrifice to get a full-time bathroom or something like that. But because I enjoy doing both summer and winter sports, I have to carry clothes for all seasons. So I have tons of clothes that I don't wear them all, but most of them I do. And so let's take a look inside. So you can see, here we go. Got hat storage here. I'm a hat guy. I'm always wearing a hat. If you follow me on Instagram, it's probably rare you see a picture of me without a hat on. This side I've got some pants and shirts. This side is my plaid collection. Wear a lot of plaid. Down here I've got a vacuum. This thing's awesome for the dog hair. Dirty clothes, underwear, socks. And this is some winter gear. For the Canadians out there, we call this a toque. For all the American watchers, beanie. Look up toque, it's a Canadian word. And then I got a mirror here. And then this is just kind of my junk drawer where I throw change, my wallet, kind of whatever when I'm driving in the van. So that's all my hanging storage. And if we go down below, in this drawer here, this is more clothing storage. So I've got t-shirts, swim trunks, shorts, winter stuff for layering, long johns, all that kind of stuff. So that goes in that drawer. It's kind of jammed right now because I just did laundry. And then in this drawer down here, this is kind of the electronics drawer where I keep, charging cables, my drone, my GoPro, my tripod, extra lenses, all that kind of stuff goes in this drawer here. And then below it is my shoe storage. So you can see down on this side, I've got my runners, another Canadian term. I was told in the US these are running shoes, not runners. So I've got runners over here. So those are kind of my summer shoes. Over here, I've got my Blundstones and my, who makes these? These are made by Treader. These are kind of my rubber boots for rain. And then this one's Ellie's stuff over here. So I've got her leash, doggy bags, little booties for her. So that's kind of her drawer. So yeah, that's all my clothing storage. Everything, all my clothes are in here. There's nowhere else that I keep my clothes. Jackets are hung up in the back. And yeah, so let's move a little further back in the van and show you some more stuff. Okay, across from the closet here, you can see I have this box here. When I originally did the van, I didn't have this box in it. This box was added on afterwards because all of my plumbing is underneath the van, and in my second year doing the van stuff, I wanted to do more snowboarding and winter activities. So I had to figure out a way to bring some plumbing into the van. So I built this box, and in the winter I just drain out the tanks underneath, and I have 6 gallons of fresh water and 6 gallons of gray water inside the van. And I actually utilize the 12-gallon hot water tank as a freshwater holding tank. So in the winter, I still have 18 gallons of fresh usable water. So I just have to dump the gray water a little more regularly, but this has worked awesome for snowboarding in the winter and not having to worry about anything underneath freezing. And then I get down to these warmer climates, I still fill this up. It just kind of acts as a reserve. But yeah, that's another thing I've done. You can see just on the door here is I've got just a couple IKEA hooks that I screwed into the door, just somewhere to hang my shirts and pants when at night or something like that. I don't always want to put everything away in the closet, so these are just nice hooks to have, just like click them on. Okay, so continuing on with the plumbing, you can see on the passenger side of the van, this is kind of my half of my kitchen, kind of bathroom sink area. So I've just got a regular faucet here with a extension on it. Got a little soap dispenser here, which is a lifesaver. It's just so handy to have. This flips up and the sink is underneath there. I'm not going to show it because I think it's a little dirty, so we'll leave that down. That's kind of the nice part, is you can just hide it. And then a little paper towel holder. One little pro tip, get the paper towel holder with this friction mount. Otherwise, when you're driving down the road and you have your front windows open, this whole thing will fly off and you'll have a whole roll of paper towel in the back of the van. And if you're like me, you'll probably just throw it out because it's a pain to roll it back on. So underneath the sink, this is where I have my hot water tank. We'll spin around and get you a shot of that. And then this drawer here, I use the baby lock. So this little baby lock goes, you can't open the drawer, use the baby lock. This opens, this is kind of my toiletries. So I got sunscreen, got some hair gel, some dry shampoo, it's a good van trick. Q-tips, kind of everything you'd find in a normal house. So that's where my toiletries go. And then underneath here, this is my, just kind of like you find underneath the sink in a house. I've got all my cleaning supplies, my garbage slides out, and I've got my water filtration system. So I have a 2-stage system. I've got actually 3-stage. I've got 2 sediment filters and then a carbon Sterisil filter, so I can drink the water safely that I fill up in the van. So yeah, that is this end. And this van's kind of a lifesaver too. It's got a few different mounts, and I can just turn it on and off. A few modes, and that helps keep the van cool on really hot days with the roof vent. So yeah, that's kind of handy. Okay, and with my hot water tank as well, one thing I forgot to mention is I have such a big hot water tank, I make most of my hot water from the alternator. But then in my solar system, I use a dump load or an auxiliary load. So when my house batteries are full, then it starts taking the excess power from the solar and dumping that into the hot water tank. So I pretty much always have hot water between driving and solar. It's been a really good system for me. I go into much more detail on that in the plumbing and the electrical video, so check those out. So up here, this cabinet here is kind of a mission control. This is where everything kind of comes into. I've got everything, all my switches are up here, so my interior lights. I've got the fan, I've got the outside lights on the rack, I've got my router, I've got my water pump, my fridge, I've got a little remote here to turn the lights off and on. I've got my Victron Energy battery monitor so I can see how the solar is doing. This is my I-Series tank monitor system, so this manages my freshwater, black water, and gray water tank levels. I've got my Espar Heater thermostat in control, and just a regular thermostat. So this is kind of mission control here, and a lot of people like to see this. This kind of opens up, and then in behind here you can see that I've got all the wiring, and this is how I get internet, which I talk about in a future video. So if you want to learn more about my internet system, just check out that other video. But I'm using the Cradle Point, the IBR, I believe it's 1100. Yeah, that's my electrical, and everything is nice and neat here, all in one panel, and I close it like this, and there you go, voila. So now we're going to jump over to the other side of the van. This is where I do all of my cooking. So this is more of the bathroom on this side, and this side's more of the kitchen. So because I have such a large solar system, I have 520 watts of solar, I am able to cook with the electricity. So I have a 2-burner induction cooktop right here that's built into the butcher block counter. Underneath this cabinet here, baby lock again. This is all my kitchen utensils, so I've got cutlery, everything you'd find in a kitchen right there. Underneath here down below, this is my fridge kind of all tucked away here. I have a 12-volt a dual zone fridge. So this is the freezer and this is the fridge. I highly recommend going with the top loading fridge. Even though the front loading ones look really nice, you just can't store as much stuff in them. I highly recommend the top loading fridges. You can just put way more stuff in them. They're more efficient. They lose less heat when you open the doors. And yeah, I mean, you do have to deal with kind of getting things in and out that are jammed in there, but just a small sacrifice. And if we come along over here, I've got this top drawer is where I store my camera. This is my camera. This drawer here is, I've got a kettle, coffee grinder, blender, and a few travel mugs and my cutting boards. And this one down here is, I've got some Tupperware, some Rubbermaid containers, and my pots and pans for cooking. So that's that. If we check out the upper storage here. One thing I do like is actually my kitchen is right in front of the window, which is nice. I get some natural light when I'm cooking. I can see outside. And I have this nice little blind I can just pull down. And I don't have to put up the actual Reflectex blinds. It's just a little easier, a little bit more privacy. So that, and then I just gotta push that up. I've got some tea and spice storage here, as long as a knife rack. This knife rack scares a lot of people, but as long as a lot of people make the mistake, they put the knives up like this, they will fall off. Knife down, never had them fall off. So, and I've had this thing on some serious roads. So the upper storage here, if we open up this one, this is kind of my coffee and teas. So I've got a French press. I don't really use the French press that often. I'm an AeroPress guy. Got some fresh ground coffee, some teas up in there. This one is food storage. All of my cabinets, they have gas shocks, hydraulic gas shocks on them, and then they also are held shut with magnets. A lot of people ask me if these ever open. I've never had them open, but if you look at the bottom of the cabinets here, I have this rail. So stuff, as it slides forward, it doesn't actually hit the door. So that stops any of the items in the van from popping open a door. So that's why I can get away with it just like that, nice and closed. Moving back here, this is more food storage, this cabinet. This cabinet back here is all of my bedding, so I've got my pillows and my sleeping bags up in there. Flipping over to the other side of the van, this cabinet is dishes, coffee mugs, dog food, first aid kit. Find up in there. These back two don't really have much in them. This one has, this one's got garbage, toilet paper. I've got my air compressor in there. Got surf wax, I'm just kind of looking, extra paper towel. And the back one there has it's got my helmet for snowboarding and a bike helmet, yoga mat, just stuff like that. So that's up there. So yeah, I've got tons of storage. I honestly don't utilize all of it, just because I have so much I don't need it all. And also underneath this bench here, this bench right here, this is full of storage. So I've got tools, Swiffers, I got an extra water pump if mine was to break. I got a backup. I'll show you what it looks like in there. So I'll lift this up. So these cushions, they're just velcroed on, so I just lift that up. Pull these out of the way. And lift that up. So you can see I've got a drill, I've got a leveling kit, got a tire repair kit, some WD-40, some Swiffers, my toolbox in there. This is just kind of everything that I might need if I get stuck and need some to open the van. And I got a nice little light in here. On this side of the van, there's no storage, but this is where all of the solar components are. So all the solar components are back here. So if you take a look at that, you can see that I've got everything kind of managed in here, and then that upper cabinet I showed you earlier. So if you can see that back white cabinet that's outside of this box, those are my 2 AGM batteries. And then everything comes into here, and this is where I power the van. Again, I go into the whole solar setup and how everything works in the electrical video, but this system works great for me and allows me to be, 100% off grid, and I don't rely on shore power or anything like that. Everything runs off solar in here. So yeah, I'll show you. Last thing I really got to show you is the bed, how the bed works, and the shower and the toilet. For the bed, when it's time to change it from table mode to bed mode, I just have to flick the levers on the table pedestal, push it down, and get ready for bed. A lot of people ask me if it's annoying setting up the bed every day. Honestly, it takes me like 2 minutes to do, so it's not a big deal. I don't really think about it at all. And one of the things I do really like about my van is I do have this large table to work at. It makes it nice to spread my stuff out and just have a real place to work. So for me, the sacrifice makes it easy. So I'll show you how it becomes a bed. So I just come underneath here, flick both of these levers like that, lift these cushions up, just like that, and then you just push down like so. And just like that, the bed is ready to go. I sleep this way across the van because I'm short, so as you can see, I actually fit perfectly just like this. But if I sleep on a bit of an angle, I mean, I've got tons of room. So for me, it is easy to sleep this way, and I don't lose a lot of real estate by having the full bed in the van. If you are with 2 people in the van, you might want to consider making the bed a bit longer. I mean, this is more of a one-person setup. I mean, it would probably work for 2 people depending on how much you wiggle. So that's the bed. One thing I didn't show you about the table though is actually, I'll show you how quick it goes back up. The table actually moves in 4 directions, which is kind of a nice feature, so you can get around the table. Cushions down. I like to spin the table around because then it moves more up towards the back. And there you can go, it's ready to go. And then you can see this unhooks there, lift this up, and then I can pass by this way. And the table, it moves side to side and front and back like this. So if I need more space up there, I can move the table all the way back here and I have all of that space. So this table's worked really good for me. And yeah, it's a great bed, great place to work. And I don't lose much storage or anything by doing a bed. So let's just spin this out of the way quickly so I can show you the shower and toilet. So you can move this all the way out of the way here, and this exposes my shower. And you can see down here I've got a full toilet with a black water tank. I've got a 12-gallon black water tank, a 20-gallon gray water tank, and I carry total 40 gallons of fresh water, but the tank underneath is 25. And then I have the interior storage as well. So that's the toilet. So you can see down here, this grate lifts out. This reveals a shower pan down here. I take that out, unhook this, and this is my shower. So I drop the shower curtain down, stand right here, shower head, knobs, and it works great. It doesn't make a mess. All of the water stays nice and contained with the shower curtain, and I have a full shower and toilet in the van without taking up too much real estate in the van. So that's pretty much the van tour. There's not too much to show you on the outside of the van. Everything else you can see in the other videos. Outside, you know, if you look at the other videos, I go over my plumbing, my roof rack, my solar panels, my storage box on the top, and yeah, just check out the other videos. This is just kind of a quick overview so you can see a rundown of the van, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.